So I'd not really planned on doing a video this week because I've just been booked and I'm working on a big project, but there's this thing I keep seeing online that kind of bugs me because I think people are just getting bad information, and I just wanted to give my viewpoint and my perspective on it. So I'm on these Facebook groups about engineering and producing and mixing and stuff. And one of the most common comments I see or questions is things like this. For instance, we've got, what is your go-to vocal chain for rap or hip hop? What is your vocal chain for recording pop singers? Or a similar type thing here. Shure SM7B or TLM 102. Which one is best for singing or rapping? Or for recording vocals, what is better, the Avalon or the Manley Voxbox? And I get it. I'm not trying to be too critical of people that are coming up in this field, but they're really missing the point. I think people think that there's some sort of like magic process. There's just one chain you can use for your vocals. And just so people understand what I mean when I say vocal chain, they're talking about the microphone going into a mic pre, which is the thing you plug your mic into that powers the mic and sometimes has EQ on it. And then maybe they're going to go into a de-esser or a compressor or something like that. It's all the gear you go through from the microphone into your recording device. And I think people think that there's some sort of magic vocal chain that'll work for everything or for one genre. And it just, the whole concept of what they're asking, the whole presumption is just off. They're really missing the point. I mean, I remember somebody once saying that they had met Steve Lillywhite, who is a very famous producer who did Dave Matthews, U2, Jason Mraz, Matchbox 20. I mean, just Talking Heads, XTC is just legendary producer. And this friend of mine asked him, what is your favorite mic for vocals? Like, what do you use? And his answer was, I use the one that's hooked up. And I think that's a great answer. Sometimes it is that way. If there's a vibe going on and I got something hooked up, that's what I'm using. I'm not so concerned about the microphone or some specific chain, right? So when people ask me about my vocal chain, I say my vocal chain, well, here's what I start with. I start with the singer or the vocalist, and I make sure we got the parts down right. I make sure that they're prepared. The next thing I move on to is the song and the arrangement and the key. Because no matter what your gear is, if those things aren't right, it's a waste of time. Doesn't matter how it sounds, you know. Then the next thing in my chain is my ears. I'm using my ears. And I think to a certain degree that's at the crux of this whole thing, that people are focusing on gear instead of using their ears. Like they should be talking about ear training. And then the next thing after my ears is the vibe. What is the vibe? Is the singer feeling good? Does the singer like being in a vocal booth or a larger room? Maybe even the sound is going to make a difference, like if I'm working in a booth or a room. Does the singer like the lights bright or off? Does the singer even want to be seen? Do I need to hide the singer? Hey, I'm recording here. Well, come on through, man.
I didn't know.
Thanks. Anyway, what the hell was I talking about? I have no peace here. It's just constant. Anyway, sometimes singers don't want people looking at them, so I'll cover up the window, you know? I also consider whether the singer should be standing or sitting when doing vocals. It's a funny thing. Everybody assumes you should go in the studio and you should stand. Well, why is that? A lot of people sing sitting down. They're doing singer-songwriter rounds most of the time, or maybe they play piano and they sing sitting down. Why are you going to stand in the studio? It's not how you normally sing. I mean, you know, you could sing laying down. I've got a singer that I work with, Priska, who's an amazing artist, and I've got this couch right here is actually a fold-out bed, and I actually sometimes fold that out for her so she can just kind of hang out. I've recorded her kind of just lounging on the bed back here because she just is comfortable and likes it and sounds great there. The other reason I think that vocal chains aren't important are kind of just based on my personal experience. And let me use an example here. Years ago, I mixed a big club hit called Throw Some D's by Rich Boy, and it was produced by Polo de Don. And when I got the mix and I got in the studio, his lead vocals were broken up on several different tracks. Apparently, they had recorded his vocals in several different studios over time. And just listening to the tracks, I don't know what they use, but every track sounded very different. Like the EQ, they were using different pre's, who knows? But they were all complete. It'd be in the middle of a line. It would just cut to another track where he was continuing on. It'd be this completely different sound. I was like, wow. And I had to match them all up, which I did. I challenge you to listen to that song and see if you can find out where my edits are. But I think they had his vocals split up, the verse vocals, on 3 different tracks. But at the end of the day, his performance was just cool. So what did it matter if the performance was good? Who cares about the mic pre and the chain and all that? If it sounds good, if the vibe is good and the song's good, that's kind of all that really matters. So to get back to my question about my vocal chain, and why it doesn't matter. Why it doesn't matter is because I could tell you what I'm using and what I'm doing, and it's not going to make any difference. It's not necessarily going to help you because your situation is going to be different. The singers and rappers or whatever you're working with are going to be different. Your room's going to be different. The kind of music you're going to be doing is different. And even the gear isn't necessarily all consistent. Boy, I can tell you how many times I've gotten on some Neve mic pre's and they're all the same model and all that. And you go to each one and they all kind of have a different tone because they're old. I mean, it's just flip a coin, man, But let me tell you what I do, okay? One of the things I do with singers is I'll set up several mics in the room when we first start working. I just take some time to experiment. I don't come in and try to get a final take right off the bat. If I've got the time, I'll set up several mics, and I'll have the singer go through and try different mics. Then I might switch out some mic pre's. I might try my Focusrite ISA 110 or these Cappies or the Avalon. I actually don't even have that much gear, but I'll switch it around and I'll find something that works. But even then, often I'll switch out mics depending on the song. Or if I'm going to background vocals, I'll switch a mic. If it's the same singer doing their own background vocals, I'll switch the mic and stuff just to kind of give it a different sound. Or maybe we're doing a rock song, so I'll grab a SN7B, which is really cool for heavy rock. On another hand, maybe I want to get a tube mic for a different kind of sound. I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't even know exactly how half this stuff works. I just know what it sounds like. But I will tell you, there is one piece of gear, as far as my vocal chain is concerned. I'll be honest with you, there is one piece of gear I do use pretty much for everybody, and that is the great Distressor compressor. This thing is one of my favorites. So I do use this all the time, and I'm going to go ahead and show you my settings right here. Here they are. That's it. Now, that may not work for you, but that's what works for me. And, I tweak it out depending on the song and the singer, but it's kind of basically that. That's the one thing that is consistent. But getting back to my main point, the vocal chain. The most important thing in your vocal chain is all the stuff that happens before anything actually goes into the mic. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, ask me some questions, and come back for more.